On January 22, 2026, a Luxair -8 performed a one-engine inoperative emergency landing at Nice Côte d'Azur Airport. What initially appears as a passenger evacuation at Nice is in fact the final phase of a carefully managed in-flight emergency, handled professionally by the flight crew and airport emergency services. Luxair Flight 8255, operated by a -8Q400, was a scheduled commercial flight from Luxembourg-Findel Airport to Nice, carrying 74 passengers and crew. The aircraft departed Luxembourg at approximately 13:17 local time. In-flight event. During the arrival phase into Nice, the flight crew received an abnormal, unsafe indication affecting the right main landing gear, suggesting that the gear might not be fully locked in the down position. The aircraft subsequently entered holding over the Mediterranean Sea, remaining airborne for approximately 75 minutes. This allowed the crew to. Passengers were informed of the situation, and prior to the final approach, they were instructed to adopt the brace position as a precaution. Engine shutdown and fuel emergency. As part of the risk mitigation strategy, the pilots shut down the right engine. The -8 is fully certified for single-engine flight and landing, and the aircraft continued operating under controlled conditions. Due to the extended holding time and the management of the abnormal situation, fuel reserves became limited. The crew subsequently declared Mayday fuel, indicating that the aircraft could no longer accept additional delays and required immediate landing priority. Approach and landing. At the time of arrival, runway 04 right was closed, leaving Nice with only one operational runway, runway 04 left. Air traffic control cleared Flight 8255 for a long, straight-in final approach to runway 04L, minimizing maneuvering, reducing workload, and ensuring the safest possible configuration for landing. The -8 performed a stabilized approach and landed safely on runway 04 left. After touchdown, the aircraft came to a complete stop on the runway, and both engines were shut down as a precautionary measure. Emergency services were immediately deployed and positioned around the aircraft. Passengers were evacuated in an orderly manner under the supervision of the cabin crew, while firefighters secured the aircraft and conducted external inspections. No fire, smoke, or visible structural damage was observed. All 74 occupants evacuated safely, and no injuries were reported. Passengers were later transported by bus to the terminal, where psychological support services were made available. Subsequent inspections confirmed that the landing gear was mechanically locked, suggesting that the event was likely caused by an erroneous indication or faulty sensor, rather than an actual landing gear collapse or structural failure. Luxair later confirmed that a technical investigation was launched, with maintenance teams and auditors dispatched to Nice. Once the evacuation and safety checks were completed, the situation was reassessed jointly by the flight crew and emergency services. The aircraft was deemed capable of movement. The crew then restarted the left engine, followed by the right engine, allowing the aircraft to vacate the runway under its own power without the need for towing assistance. This step was operationally significant. With only one runway available, the runway blockage had already caused traffic disruption, including airborne holding and multiple diversions. The majority of affected flights were diverted to Marseille-Provence Airport, the nearest suitable alternate airport. By clearing the runway efficiently, airport capacity at Nice was restored as quickly as possible, allowing normal operations to progressively resume. This event resulted in no injuries and no aircraft damage. It highlights effective crew decision-making, disciplined application of procedures, and strong coordination between pilots, air traffic control, cabin crew, and emergency services, leading to a safe outcome despite a complex and high workload situation. If you like this video, the aircraft you have just seen, the -8, is far from a new design. In fact, it represents more than 4 decades of regional aviation history. The story of the -8 begins in the early 1980s, when regional air travel was expanding rapidly, but airlines were looking for aircraft that were reliable, economical, and capable of operating from short or challenging runways. At the time, many regional routes did not justify jet aircraft. What operators needed was a turboprop that could combine comfort, efficiency, and performance. That aircraft became the -8, Originally developed by de Havilland Canada, the Dash 8 was designed as a modern successor to the Dash 7, with an emphasis on lower fuel consumption, reduced noise, improved passenger comfort. The first Dash 8 flew in 1983 and quickly proved popular with airlines operating short-haul routes, especially in Canada, Europe, and remote regions. Its high-mounted wings, rugged landing gear, and powerful turboprop engines allowed it to operate safely from short, icy, or uneven runways, a key advantage over early regional jets. Over time, the Dash 8 evolved into several variants, the Dash 8 100 and 200, optimized for short routes, the Dash 8 300, which became one of the most widely used regional turboprops of the 1990s. But the most ambitious version was yet to come, the birth of the Q400. In the late 1990s, manufacturers faced growing competition from regional jets. Airlines wanted speed, but without losing efficiency. The answer was the Dash 8 Q400. Introduced in 2000, the Q400 was a significant leap forward. It was longer, faster, and more powerful. Cruise speeds approached those of regional jets. Fuel burn remained significantly lower. The Q stands for quiet, thanks to an advanced noise and vibrations suppression system designed to reduce the typical turboprop cabin vibrations. Performance and capabilities. What makes the Q400 unique is its balance. It can cruise at 360 knots, extremely fast for a turboprop, carry 70 to 80 passengers, operate efficiently on routes up to 1,100 nautical miles, land on short runways where jets cannot operate economically. This combination makes it particularly popular at constrained airports, mountainous regions, and noise-sensitive environments. A modern classic today, the Dash 8 may not look as modern as some jet aircraft, but it remains a cornerstone of regional aviation. Its continued operation across the world proves that. Turboprops are still relevant. Efficiency often matters more than speed, and good design stands the test of time. The Dash 8 is not just a regional aircraft. It is a workhorse, trusted daily by crews and passengers alike. Meantime, fly safe, and see you back in the skies soon.